Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yatha Bharakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishkam Vitamscha Om Ajnana Timrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Milidam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhishtam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Abhidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Vande Vishwa Guruncha Divyad Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Balaka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Yashishvara Sridharam Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Nama. We're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Adi-lila, chapter 9, the desire tree of devotional service. Tam Srimad Krishna Chaitanya Devam Bande Jagat Gurum Yashyanu Kampaya Swapi Mahabdim Santaret Sukam. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual master of the entire world, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even a dog can swim across a great ocean. Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Gaurachandra Jaya Jaya Dvaita Jaya Jaya Nityananda. So let's see. Here it says, sometimes it is to be seen that a dog can swim in the water for a few yards and then come back to the shore. Here, however, it is stated that if a dog is blessed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can swim across an ocean. Similarly, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, placing himself in a helpless condition, states that he has no personal power, but by the desire of Lord Chaitanya, expressed through the Vaishnavas and the Madan Mohan Vigraha, it is possible for him to cross a transcendental ocean to present Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Gaurachandra Jaya Jaya Dvaita Jaya Jaya Nityananda. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is known as Gaurahari. All glories to Advaitacharya and Nityananda Prabhu. Jaya Jaya Shriva Sadi Gaurabhaktagan Sarva Bhishta Purti Hetu Jahara Smaran. All glories to the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, headed by Srivas Thakur. In order to fulfill all my desires, I remember their lotus feet. The author here continues to follow the same principles of worship of the Panchatattva that were described in the 7th chapter of the Adi-lila. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath. I also remember the 6 Goswamis, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta, and Dasha Raghunath. This is the process for writing transcendental literature. A sentimentalist who has no Vaishnava qualifications cannot produce transcendental writings. There are many fools who consider Krishna Lila to be a subject of art and who write or paint pictures about the pastimes of Lord Krishna with the gopis, sometimes depicting them in a manner practically obscene. These fools take pleasure in material sense gratification, but one who wants to make advancement in spiritual life must scrupulously avoid their literature. unless one is a servant of Krishna and the Vaishnavas, as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami presents himself to be in offering respects to Lord Chaitanya, his associates, and his disciples, one should not attempt to write transcendental literature. Esam prasade liki Chaitanya lila guna, janina, janibana, jani kori, apana doshana. It is by the mercy of all these Vaishnavas and Gurus that I attempt to write about the pastimes and qualities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whether I know it or know not. It is for self-purification that I write this book. This is the sum and substance of transcendental writing. One must be an authorized Vaishnav, humble and pure. One should write transcendental literature to purify oneself, not for credit. By writing about the pastimes of the Lord, one associates with the Lord directly. One should not ambitiously think, I shall become a great author. I shall be celebrated as a writer. These are material desires. One should attempt to write for self-purification. It may be published or it may not be published, but that does not matter. If one is actually sincere in writing, all his ambitions will be fulfilled. Whether one is known as a great author is incidental. One should not attempt to write transcendental literature for material name and fame. Malakara Swayam Krishna Prema Mara Taru Swayam Data Bhokta Tadphalanam Yastam Chaitanyam Ashraye. I take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who himself is the tree of transcendental love of Krishna, its gardener and also the bestower and enjoyer of its fruits. Prabhu ko he ami Vishvambar namadori, nama sartaka hoy jadi premi Vishvabari. Lord Chaitanya thought, my name is Vishvambar, one who can maintain the entire universe. Its meaning will be actualized if I can fill the whole universe with love of Godhead. Eta chinti loila prabhu malakara dharma nabadipe arambila falodhyana karma. Thinking in this way, he accepted the duty of a planter and began to grow a garden in Navadip. Sri Chaitanya Malakara Pratibite Ani Bhakti Kalpa Taru Ropila Sinchi Ichapani. Thus the Lord brought the desire tree of devotional service to this earth and became its gardener. He sowed the seed and sprinkled upon it the water of his will. In many places, devotional service has been compared to a creeper. One has to sow the seed of the devotional creeper, Adi-lila, within his heart. As he regularly hears and chants, the seed will fructify and gradually grow into a mature plant and then produce the fruit of devotional service, namely love of Godhead, which the gardener, Malakara, can then enjoy without impediments. Jaya Shri Madhvapuri Krishna Prema Pura Bhakti Kalpa Tarur Teho Pratama Ankura. All glories to Sri Madhavendra Puri, the storehouse of all devotional service unto Krishna. He is a desire tree of devotional service, and it is in him that the seed of devotional service first fructified. Sri Madhavendra Puri, also known as Sri Madhavapuri, belonged to the disciplic succession from Madhvacharya and was a greatly celebrated sannyasi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the third disciplic descendant from Sri Madhavendra Puri. The process of worship in the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya was full of ritualistic ceremonies, with hardly a sign of love of Godhead. Sri Madhavendra Puri was the first person in that disciplic succession to exhibit the symptoms of love of Godhead, and the first to write a poem beginning with the words, Adi-lila Dayadranata, O Supremely Merciful Personality of Godhead. In that poem is the seed of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cultivation of love of Godhead. Sri Ishwara Puri Rupe Ankura Pushta Hoila Apane Chaitanya Mali Skanda Upajila. The seed of devotional service next fructified in the form of Sri Ishwara Puri, and then the gardener himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, became the main trunk of the tree of devotional service. Nija chintya shakti mali haya skanda hoy, sakala sakara se skandam mulashroy. By his inconceivable powers, the Lord became the gardener, the trunk, and the branches simultaneously. Paramananda Puriyara Keshava Bharati, Brahmananda Puriyara Brahmananda Bharati, Vishnu Puri Kesha Puri Puri Krishnananda, Srina Shringa Tirtha Ara Puri Sukhananda, Enava Mula Nikashila Brikkamule, Enava Mule Brikka Korila Nischale, Paramananda Puri Kesha Bharati, Brahmananda Puri and Brahmananda Bharati, Sri Vishnu Puri, Keshav Puri, Krishnananda Puri, Srina Shringatirtha, and Sukhananda Puri. These 9 sannyasi roots all sprouted from the trunk of the tree. Thus the tree stood steadfastly on the strength of these 9 roots. So these are the 9 mentioned as sannyasis, 9 sannyasis who form the roots and the provided for the tree to be planted steadfast. Here it says steadfastly. Paramananda Puri, Kesha Bharati, Brahmananda Puri, and Brahmananda Bharati, Sri Vishnu Puri, Kesha Puri, Krishnananda Puri, Sri Nisringatirtha, and Sukhananda Puri. These 9 sannyasi roots all sprouted from the trunk of the tree. Thus the tree stood steadfastly on the strength of these 9 roots. Okay. Madhyamula Paramananda Puri Mahadira, Ashtadike Ashtamula Brikka Koila Stira. With the sober and grave Paramananda Puri as a central root, and the other 8 roots in the 8 directions, the tree of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood firmly. Very nice. Skandera upare bahu saka upajila, upari saka asankhya hoila. Jai. Jivana. Skandera upare bahu saka upajila, upare shaka asankhya hoila. From the trunk grew many branches, and above them innumerable others. Visha shaka kore ek manda maha shaka chaila brahmanda sakal. Thus the branches of the Chaitanya tree formed a cluster or society with great branches covering all the universe. It says, our International Society for Krishna Consciousness is one of the branches of the Chaitanya tree. And another branch is the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mad. Ekaika shakate upashaka shata jatu upajila shaka ke ganibe kala. From each branch grew many hundreds of sub-branches. No one can count how many branches thus grew. Mukya shaka ganer nama aganan ageta koriba shuna brikera barnan. I shall try to name the foremost of the innumerable branches. Please hear the description of the Chaitanya tree. And Govinda Maharaj used to say, please hear with minorly attention. It means with concentrating your mind. I shall try to name the foremost of the Innumerable branches. Please hear the description of the Chaitanya tree. Brikara upare shaka hoila duiskanda ek advaita nama aranityananda. At the top of the tree, the trunk branched into two. One trunk was named Sri Advaita Prabhu, and the other Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Se duiskande bahu shakupajila tara upashakagane jagat chaila. From these two branches grew many branches and sub-branches that covered the entire world. Borashaka upashaka tara upashaka jatupajila tara kekoribe leka. These branches and sub-branches and their sub-branches became so numerous that no one can actually write about them. Sishya prasishya ara upasishyagan jagad vyapila tara nahika ganan. Thus the disciples and the grand disciples and their admirers spread throughout the entire world, and it is not possible to enumerate them all. Udumbara brikka jena fale sarva ange emata bhakti brikke sarvatra phala lage. As a big fig tree bears fruits all over its body, each part of the tree of devotional service bore fruit. The tree of devotional service is not of this material world. It grows in the spiritual world where there is no distinction between one part of the body and another. It is something like a tree of sugar, for whichever part of such a tree one tastes, it is always sweet. The tree of bhakti has varieties of branches, leaves, and fruits, but they are all meant for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are 9 different processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasham, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. But all of them are meant only for the service of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, whether one hears, chants, remembers, or worships, his activities will yield the same result. Which one of these processes will be the most suitable for a particular devotee depends upon his taste. Mulaskandera shaka ara upashaka gane lagilache prema phala amritaka jine. Since Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the original trunk, the taste of the fruits that grew on the branches and sub-branches surpassed the taste of nectar. Pakila je primafala amrita madhura vilaya chaitanya mali nahiloya mula. The fruits ripened and became sweet and nectarian. The gardener, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributed them without asking any price. Tri jagate jata ache dana ratnamani ekfal falera muya kore taha nahigani. All the wealth in the 3 worlds cannot equal the value of one such nectarian fruit of devotional service. Mage ba mage keho patra na apatra. Mage ba na mage keho patra ba apatra. Ihara bichara nahi jane deya matra. Not considering who asked for it and who did not, nor who was fit and who unfit to receive it, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed the fruit of devotional service. This is the sum and substance of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. There is no distinction made between those who are fit and those who are not fit to hear or take part in the Sankirtan movement. It should therefore be preached without discrimination. The only purpose of the preachers of the Sankirtan movement must be to go on preaching without restriction. That is the way in which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the Sankirtan movement in the world. Anjali, Anjali, Bari, Fele, Chatur, Dishe, Daridra, Kudaya, Kaya, Malakara, Hase. The Transcendental Gardener, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributed handful after handful of fruit in all directions. And when the poor, hungry people ate the fruit, the gardener smiled with great pleasure. So Anjali refers to like an offering like this. Anjali. So the transcendental gardener Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed handful after handful of fruit in all directions, and when the poor hungry people ate the fruit, the gardener smiled with great pleasure. Malakara kohe shuna brika paribar, mulashaka upashaka jateka prakar. Lord Chaitanya thus addressed the multifarious varieties of branches and sub-branches of the tree of devotional service. Alokika brikakore sarvendra, alokika brikakore sarvendriya karma, stavara hoya dare jangamera dharma. Since the tree of devotional service is transcendental, every one of its parts can perform the action of all the others. Although a tree is supposed to be immovable, this tree nevertheless moves. It is our experience in the material world that trees stand in one place, but in the spiritual world, a tree can go from one place to another. Therefore, everything in the spiritual world is called alokika, uncommon or transcendental. Another function of such a tree is that it can act universally. In the material world, the roots of a tree go deep within the earth to gather food, but in the spiritual world, the twigs, branches, and leaves of the upper portion of the tree can act like roots. Ebrikera anga hoy saba sachaitana moria vyapila sabe sakala bhuvana. All the parts of this tree are spiritually cognizant, and thus, as they grow, they spread all over the world. Ekala malakara ami kahan jab, ekala ba katafala padiya vilab. I am the only gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick and distribute? Here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indicates that the distribution of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra should be performed by combined forces. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he laments, how can I act alone? How can I alone pick the fruit and distribute it all over the world? This indicates that all classes of devotees should combine to distribute the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra without consideration of the time, place, or situation. Ekala utaya dite hoya parishram, keho pai, keho napai, rahe mane brahma. It would certainly be a very laborious task to pick the fruits and distribute them alone, and still I suspect that some would receive them and others would not. Atevami agya dilun sabakare jahan tahan premafala deho jare tare. Therefore, I order every man within the universe to accept this Krishna consciousness movement and distribute it everywhere. In this connection, there is a song sung by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Eneche oshadi maya nashibara lagi, harinama maha mantra lao tumi magi. Bhakati Vinod Prabhu Charane Puriya Se Harin Nama Mantra Loilo Magiya. The Sankirtan movement has been introduced by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just to dispel the illusion of Maya, by which everyone in this material world thinks himself to be a product of matter and therefore to have many duties pertaining to the body. Actually, the living entity is not his material body as a spirit soul. He has a spiritual need to be eternally blissful and full of knowledge, but unfortunately, he identifies himself with the body, sometimes as a human being, sometimes as an animal, sometimes a tree, sometimes an aquatic, sometimes a demigod, and so on. Thus, with each change of body, he develops a different type of consciousness with different types of activities, and thus becomes increasingly entangled in material existence, transmigrating perpetually from one body to another. Okay? Under the spell of Maya or illusion, he does not consider the past or future, but is simply satisfied with the short lifespan that he has gotten for the present. To eradicate this illusion, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought the Sankirtan movement, and he requests everyone to accept and distribute it. A person who is actually a follower of Sri Bhaktivedanta Thakur must immediately accept the request of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by offering respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet, and thus beg from him the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If one is fortunate enough to beg from the Lord this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, his life is successful. Ekala Malakara Ami Katafala Kaba Nadia Nadiaba E Fala Araki Koriba. I'm the only gardener. If I do not distribute these fruits, what shall I do with them? How many fruits can I alone eat? Atma ichamrite brika sinchi nirantar tahateya sankhya phala brikkarupar. By the transcendental desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, water has been sprinkled all over the tree, and thus there are innumerable fruits of love of Godhead. Ateva sabvala deho jaritare kaya hauk loka ajaramare. Distribute this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Let people eat these fruits and ultimately become free from old age and death. So therefore distribute these fruits to everyone and anyone. And by eating them, people will become will become free from old age and death. Okay. Jagat vyapya mora habe punya kyati suke hoya lok mora gahibe kirti. If the fruits are distributed all over the world, my reputation as a pious man will be known everywhere, and thus all people will glorify my name with great pleasure. That's Mahaprabhu. If the fruits are distributed all over the world, my reputation as a pious man will be known everywhere, and thus all people will glorify my name with great pleasure. Bharata Bhumite, here's this famous verse. Bharata Bhumite hoila manusya janmajar janma sartaka kori kora para upakar. This verse we used to use in India, talking to people. Bharata Bhumite hoila manusya janmajar janma sartaka kori kora para upakar. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharat Varsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. So the preaching is that one's life is not meant for one, especially people in India, it says they're not meant for just their own advancement, but they're meant for doing good for others. Janma sartaka kori kora parupakar. Parupakar means that one should do parupakar. One should benefit other people. That's especially considered. I remember Prabhupada used to say, this is especially pertinent to India. People, they're not just meant to get some technological advancement, but they're meant for parupakar, doing welfare or doing good for others. Etavaz janma safalyam dehinam iha dehishu pranar artar diyabacha shreya acharanam sada. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. Praninam upakaraya jad eveha paratracha karmana manasa vacha tad eva matiman bhajet. By his work, thoughts, and words, an intelligent man must perform activities which will be beneficial for all living entities in this life and the next. By one's work, thoughts, and words, an intelligent person must perform actions which will be beneficial for all living entities in this life and the next. Mali manusha amara nahi rajadan phala phula diyakori punya uparjan. I am merely a gardener. I have neither a kingdom nor very great riches. I simply have some fruits and flowers that I wish to utilize to achieve piety in my life. Very nice, huh? I am merely a gardener. I have neither a kingdom nor very great riches. I simply have some fruits and flowers that I wish to utilize to achieve piety in my life. Sometimes we hear different sentiments of politics or economics or all that, but feeling is a little. I am merely a gardener. I have neither a kingdom nor very great riches. I simply have some fruits and flowers that I wish to utilize to achieve piety in my life. Mahaprabhu speaking, but we can share in that sentiment. Malihaya brikka hoilan eta ichate sarva pranir upakara hoi brikka hoite. Although I am acting as a gardener, I also want to be the tree, for thus I can bestow benefit upon all. Aho Vishvambaram janma sarva prani upajivinam sajana sheva yesham vai vimuka yandi nartina. Just see how these trees are maintaining every living entity. Their birth is successful. Their behavior is just like that of great personalities. For anyone who asks anything from a tree never goes away disappointed. So, let's see. Although I am acting as a gardener, I also want to be the tree, for thus I can bestow benefit upon all. Mali hoya brikka hoilon eta ichate sarva pranir upakara hoi brikka hoite. Okay. Just see how these trees are maintaining every living entity. Their birth is successful. Their behavior is just like that of great personalities. For anyone who asks anything from a tree never goes away disappointed. Nice. Trees are very generous. E agya koila jadi Chaitanya Malakar Paramananda Paila Brikka Parivar. The descendants of the tree, the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, were very glad to receive this order directly from the Lord. Jai Jahanta Handana Kori Prema Fall Valashvare Matalo Koila Sakal. The fruit of love of God is so delicious that wherever a devotee distributes it, those who relish the fruit anywhere in the world immediately become intoxicated. Maha Madaka Prema Phala Peta Borikai Matila Sakala Lok Hase Nachigai. The fruit of love of God is distributed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such a great intoxicant that anyone who eats it, filling his belly or her belly, the fruit of love of Godhead distributed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such a great intoxicant that anyone who eats it, filling his belly, immediately becomes maddened by it and automatically chants, dances, laughs, and enjoys. Keho Gadagadi Jai, Keho Nata Hunkar, Deki Anandita Hoya Hase Malakar. When Mahaprabhu, the great gardener, sees that people are chanting, dancing, and laughing, and that some of them are rolling on the floor and some are making loud humming sounds, he smiles with great pleasure. Now, this humming, this is a translation of hunkar, which is sometimes said to be roaring. Somebody, in ecstasy they roar, but it says here.
What would that even sound like?
Huh?
I don't know what that would sound like.
Well, you've heard people roar in ecstasy.
Oh, the Jagadananda Prabhu, okay.
When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great gardener, sees that people are chanting, dancing and laughing, and some of them are rolling on the floor and some are making loud humming sounds, he smiles with great pleasure. Many times I used to hear Ramai refer to this verse. We used to joke about it. That, that this particular translation, some people are chanting, dancing, and laughing, and that some of them are rolling on the floor and some are making loud humming sounds. He smiles with great pleasure. E Malakara, just 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. E Malakarakai, E Prema Fall, Niravadi Mata Rohe, Vishala Vivo. The great gardener, Lord Chaitanya, personally eats this fruit, and as a result, he constantly remains mad, as if helpless and bewildered. Sarvaloke Mata Koila Apana Saman, Premi Mata Lok, Bina Nahi Dekian. With his Sankirtan movement, the Lord made everyone mad like himself. We do not find anyone who was not intoxicated by his Sankirtan movement. J. Purve Ninda Koila Boli, Mato Jao, Seho Fal, Kai Nache, Bole Bala, or Bal, how is it pronounced? Kubalo. Okay. J. Purveninda Koila Boli Mato Jal Seho Fala Kai Nache Bole Balo. Persons who had formerly criticized Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, calling him a drunkard, also ate the fruit and began to dance, saying, "Very good, very good." Eta kohilun prema fala vitarad ebe shuna fala data J. Sakagan. After describing the Lord's distribution of the fruit of love of Godhead, I now wish to describe the different branches of the tree of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-lila, 9th chapter, describing the desire tree of devotional service. Okay, nice, huh?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Rolling on the floor, making humming noises.
That's what it sounds like.
No, it's hunkar is actually roaring.
Oh, that was a different one.
But it-
Translation. It's like a new.
There's probably a special translation.
But maybe there was another word in the verse that qualified it.
I don't care. I don't care.
Maybe Prabhupada was there and he knew what it sounded exactly like.
All right, so now I have to lower the volume on this mic. Okay. Give to this.
Yeah, I want to go around. I'll get you awesome.
All right. Ready? Well, it is Kartik, and I haven't sung this whole Kartik, this song, so we'll sing two songs. First we'll sing Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna, right? What page is it? I mean, we are. Mm-hmm. 2:30. I mean, this goes with Kartik. All right. This is page 230. Doscientos treinta. Okay. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Sri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan. Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahaban. Kesiganta Bamsivata Dwarashakanan. Jasam Lila Koilo Shri Nananan. Shri Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopagan. Shri Ramadi Jaya Jaya Dhenu Vatsagan. Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtira Sunari. Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhira Nagare. Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavana Maj. Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Batu Dvijaraj. Jaya Ramagata Jaya Rohini Nandan. Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jatajan. Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan. Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Govinda Charan. Shirasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam. Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manoram. Jayo Jaya Dwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sar. Harakiya Babe Jaha Brajati Prachar. Sri Janava Para Padma Koriya Smaran. Dina Krishna Dasa Kohe Nama Sankirtan. Sri Janava Para Padma Koriya Smaran. Dina Krishna Dasa Kohe Nama Sankirtan. Hariyaraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Mananavan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Janardan Shiva Sari Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raguna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Rasa Raguna Chai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jaite Vignana Shabishta Puran Chai Gosai Jar Mui Dharana Sabar Pada Renu Mora Panchagas Kader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas Janame More Abhilas Chai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Naradamoda Hare Nam Sankirtana Gohe Narada Muna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhariju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakachari Ashtatara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Nirmawacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakachari Ashtatara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Marga Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath, Sant Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Prem Sigo, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasudeva, Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Vishvambar Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Kushama Ashram Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Tilak Niriha Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Sri Koladvip Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Guna Radha Kunda Kalindiya Munaju Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Ram Ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Ju Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nrsingadev Ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Kartik Brata Ki Jai. Shri Damodar Brata Ki Jai. Shri Niyama Seva Ki Jai. Shri Urja Vrata Ki Jai. Shri Vishaka Devi Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Mahaprabhu's auspicious arrival in Panihati today Ki Jai. Gaur Premanand
Jai Om Vishnu Bhakti Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki.